Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Monday. It's August 28th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And a couple of real quick things before we get started on our chart lesson. I mentioned that we were migrating the site to a new server, a larger server with a faster server with more RAM as well, more memory. Anyway, everything with that went smoothly except for my email. Um, and I took off Friday, and I was out of pocket Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and so I didn't get any emails over the whole 3 days there. I finally got the email issue resolved today. There's some emails trickling in. It's possible I've lost some of them. Um, if you had something critical out there that you don't get an answer on, just resend it to me. Give me a day or so give me till tomorrow to try to, because it could be there and I just haven't had a chance to get to it. It'll take me a while to catch up all of them that have trickled in. But if you don't hear from me and it's something important, feel free to resend your email because it could have gotten lost, could have gotten bounced or returned. If you were getting return email notices that couldn't be delivered, that's why. I think it's resolved now. I'm starting to get emails, like I said, they're trickling in, and I'm just not sure how many of them are going to be lost for good or how many of them I'll get. I really can't say at this point. So, um, again, give me till tomorrow. If you haven't gotten a reply back from me by after lunch tomorrow, Central Standard Time, which would be after, let's just say after 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, um, resend your email to me, and I'll try to answer it for you, especially if it was something critical. If it wasn't anything critical, if it's just some kind of little question or something, maybe hold it till you get another sample or example. Whatever. Feel free to send it to me. I hate to tell you not to send me something, but um, I hate to get any more emails than I have to get as well because I'm already can't keep up. But anyway, I just want to let you know if you didn't get an answer from me or if your emails, or if you were getting notices that your emails to me were getting bounced, that's why there were some issues with getting the stuff on the server set up correctly, on the new server set up correctly for email. But I did get that resolved today. I'm pretty sure it's resolved because I am getting emails now, and my emails are going out now as well. So there was most of them are still going out. They weren't coming back in. Seemed to be the issue. So uh, anyway, I think that's resolved. But let's move on to the chart lesson and wrap this day up because it's already 5 o'clock here. I spent a good bit of the day trying to deal with this email issue, but we finally got it resolved. Anyway, here's a look at the daily chart. You can see we did bounce again today. This looks really bullish. Most of this movement came in the overnight, and then in the afternoon we were just kind of sideways. So that's a little deceiving, but you can't say it's not there because that's what you see, a nice bullish bar. We could open tomorrow and continue to go higher. We're getting back close to that midline again. As you can see, that's right across there. So we could turn back down again. We'll just have to see. At this point, it looks like we made a higher low and trying to work higher again. But anyway, let's flip over to the 2,000 tick intraday chart. You can get a look at what it looks like. It looks like, you can see that we moved higher during the overnight, and then just really was a range day the rest of the day, mixed trading. So let's flip over there and take. Okay, here's a look at our intraday chart, our 2,000 tick chart. You can see it's a little slow this morning getting started. There's a few trades in here. Um, you had to be patient and you had to be disciplined, and that's just the way it is on this. This is what I would call a mixed day. When I'm talking about a mixed day, you just get trading in both directions on both sides of the EMA, and it may be a range, and it could be a big trend, but we could get some mixed trading within the trend as well. Day like this, you can trade it both ways, really. You can trade the trends, or you can trade the ranges within. Um, generally you want to trade both on this if you get opportunity. So, but let's zoom in here and we'll go through the trades real quick. There's not a lot of them today, but 7 o'clock came as we're rallying up through here, and I don't see anything in here you can really trade. And we break out, you get another trend with a close outside new high. Maybe you take that trade, By the counts, it's a second entry. It's a big bearish bar. It actually breaks higher and turns down. I like trading that one on the engulfing bar. They're so far away from the EMA, so if it breaks below that, there's a good chance you're going to get at least the scalp, probably come back to the EMA, and we may reverse from up there. So this turns out to be a pretty good trade. Then we get a break, new low, and then that's a second entry long. So notice the new high, first entry, second entry, and we do get a break and new low. Plenty of, I think there's just about enough room back to the EMA. I marked this one green, but I still kind of like it. Then you kind of get two legs up. If you had a better signal bar there on that second entry short, I'd say take that, but that signal bar doesn't qualify. We broke higher and turned down here, but there's some support right across there, so I don't think you can go short. But once again, you get a two-legged move down with a nice signal bar on a second entry way away from the EMA this time, so I really like that one. You're always gambling if you take that first shot at it right there without waiting on a high or low, which neither time did you get a high or low that was tradable here. So if you didn't take the first reversal bar, you didn't get a chance to take them. So they're aggressive, but I tend to like those. So they're clearly two legs down both times, second entry. So, but then we run up. You get another second entry here, and you could, if there's enough room between here and here, you could actually trade that one the same way. It's another second entry short, and you do get a break in a new high. This looks congested, so it's like a little failed breakout. So if there's enough room back to the EMA there, which you can see there's just barely enough. There's 6 ticks there, which is what you need. You ended up getting a little bit more. You had to ride out a little pullback. And then we just failed out the other side. I'm not as crazy about going long on that one. It is a second entry long, but we've already had a break in new high, and this looks like two legs down. So there's a good chance we could get a bounce there, but it's just hard to say. So it's another one you could argue to be green if you really wanted. But it comes back up here and makes a triple test on the second entry short. It's a little bit congested looking. I like that one. The better one is when we come back again and make a double top. The reason I marked this one green is because it's a little bit higher on these last few moves up. So you're always better off to wait on a lower high or a double top. Double top's still considered a lower high, like right here. This is the better entry right there. And then you get a triple test off the low with another chance to go long. There's actually a break lower to turn higher right there. I'm not crazy about trading that one on an engulfing bar. There is enough room. If you wait till here, it's too late. It's right into the support or resistance, and it's hard to know. But maybe you take that on the engulfing bar. Runs up, test all this up here, but you just don't get a chance to go short, unfortunately. There is an engulfing bar here, but I believe it broke. I believe it broke lower than turned up. Either way, it's still dangerous. I just didn't mark it. And of course, we drop down here. This is just a first entry. However, it looks a lot like two legs back. There's not but 2 bars in this, but still it's a move higher, then lower, then back. Even though it goes a little lower there, it's still 2 legs back to the EMA with a big bearish bar. And that's the first break of that trend line. So there's a chance it's going to at least go test the lows again, test that midline. So maybe you take that. There's another little break higher and turn down right there, but it's another one that you say, hey, I don't know if I'd go short here because you got this low right over here. Maybe you take the engulfing bar and go lower. It's a possibility. We don't have a new low in place yet, so, and it makes it pretty obvious this midline's in play. You can see prices playing both sides of it. It makes it real obvious that's in play. And that's what you would expect prices to do when they push through the MA pullback and test it. And it should hold before prices go lower. Like here, it didn't hold, it went higher. It still went lower, but you want to see it hold before you attempt to go lower with it. So that's a better shot to go lower than actually right there. And then we bounce. There's another second entry right here, but I wouldn't take that one. We went right through the midline, right through the EMA. It's still holding up there, as you can see. You get a lower high here, but it's really 2 legs back. It's tempting to go long right there, that far away from the EMA, and maybe you do. Generally, you want to wait on the high or low, and when that comes, we've already hit the high by that time. So here, this is another possibility that maybe you go long right there. Then we just chop it along. You get a failed breakout. Normally, I tell you on this failed breakout, you got to wait on a lower high, but because it confirms that trend line right there and closes below it, it's pretty obvious that trend line's holding. So on a failed breakout, I like that one. And then we get a triple test down here with a nice bar. We've been going from side to side, so I like going long there. And we do run up and get a break, and you get a second entry short. Notice that new low, first entry. And then when it breaks lower, let me zoom in here a little more. And it's like 6 ticks. I marked it green, but you can almost argue for that to be red. And then, of course, it runs down and we test the new lows here. I marked this green because you do really almost have a triple test there. And that is where most of you, actually we're right here, and that is where was the top of, this was resistance before, now it acted kind of as support. So maybe you take it. I marked it green. It's a, because you do have your break and a new leg and a new low and a couple of legs down there. And so you may rally as long as you got room back to that EMA, because you could get some resistance. You see you do get some resistance there, but it pushes on through. And we're just kind of chopping along. You get sideways. You get a failed breakout, but no setup. Then you fell out the bottom here. And you make a high or low here, but you have to enter above that inside bar, and it doesn't have any body, so I don't really like it. But if you're patient, just a few minutes later, you get a true second entry long with a nice signal bar right there, and that's off to the races. There's no reason you probably shouldn't get a runner on this one. And if you just ran it to the top, which would have been fairly easy without any resistance, that's almost 14 points. This is the kind of place where you want to catch a runner. As you can see, there's no, I mean, you don't get any kind of pullback at all till you hit the resistance up here. And I definitely, even though you got a close outside here, it's still bullish. You get a couple of closes outside here. That's a possibility, but that's just so strong right there. I'd skip that and wait on something else. There is a lower high here. I don't like trading that as a lower high. There's plenty of room back. So maybe you take it. You could argue for that one. I like waiting on the triple test here, but then you don't get a signal bar. But notice first, this is your first break of this channel, and we're still above the EMA, and you get a first entry, second entry that fails. So if it breaks above that little 2-bar matching high, as long as you got enough room to get out, go long right there. And then when you get the triple test, I wouldn't have any problem. This high is a little higher than that one, but it's still lower than that one. And that really looks like 2 legs up. So I don't have a problem with that one. And this is a lower high, but it's moved a little bit far. Again, it's one that, maybe you could take. And if you did, there's actually a failure right there, but it's not back to it doesn't set up properly. I never like going short right into the midline on the lowest bar of the move there. So when I say that, notice here you got 2 higher lows before you go short. Here you're going short would be similar to going short right there, and I don't like that. I like to have some pullback. And this time, if you catch that one, you may get a runner there, and it runs all the way down here to the lows again. I don't think I would take that trade. There's been no close outside this yet, and there's nothing that really looks strong. There is a higher low here, but it's right into those highs, and you got some more highs right there, and you see it just kind of chops lower. If you'd had a really bearish signal bar there, actually no, it's a first entry, second. That would have been a third entry, so skip that out. It still looks like 2 legs back with 2 legs in the first leg, but it's just not bearish enough. And we just keep chopping sideways, and finally you make 2 higher lows in a row and close outside of here. And this is actually a new high, so a first entry, second entry so this is a second entry long when it breaks higher, and it's a failed second entry short, plus it's a triple test. I like that trade, and you can see it just takes off. That would have been another one that you have a good chance of getting a runner on. I don't know if you want to ride out all this. It's a little tougher than this one over here was, but still you probably would have got a runner on it. And then, of course, this is a spike in channel up is what it turns out to be. You do get a break here, but you get a new high. I like taking that one. I marked it green. It's just a high or a low. Where usually you'll get another leg up. And, of course, it runs up, and there's no chance to go short here. And it bounces, and that takes you to the 230. So kind of a quiet day, really. There's some trades here. There's some good moves on some runners too, but and the runners really will change your math if you mostly scalp. So always keep that in mind. Generally, when it's real choppy, you don't get a lot of chance at runners. However, when you get those failed breakouts, failed breaks higher, failed break lower, they often turn out to be very important highs or lows for the day, or price points for the day. So pay attention to them. That's where you try to get a runner on a range day. And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. But when they do, sometimes they're really strong like that. So anyway, there it is again. Just a range day. Although we closed up, definitely closed up from Friday, which was we closed down over here somewhere. So as far as closing higher, we closed much higher, but this just looks like consolidation to me. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe we go higher. Maybe we turn back down off that midline as I showed you on the daily chart. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, be patient with me on my email. I think it's working now, so I think we're back on track, and hopefully you'll notice some performance issues on, better performance issues on the site with a new server and the faster server and more memory. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Hope you had a good trading day. I'm out of here for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.